here, so it wouldn't include that that south western sliver there at the corner, or portion, square. So I know we're here for an annexation, but we do have a preliminary concept plan of what we're thinking for the desired use for this parcel. So we're going through the process of hopefully once annexed zoning this is a PUD. We're looking at a single-family home residential development here. Our current concept plan here, we're actually in the works of amending this a little bit. We were on the most recent TAC agenda, so we're taking some of those comments and giving a little bit of changes to this to address some things that were raised. I know it's a pretty small plan there, it's hard to see, but there you can see the pink's home sites as well as the yellow. That's because there's two separate products that we're introducing here. One is our Arbor series, which is our traditional single family home series. The yellow is Destination, which is a one-story ranch style product, low maintenance. And I don't want to get into too much details if it's not needed on all this, but happy to answer any questions at the end. Some proposed amenities that we're looking at for the site. With the size, we think a clubhouse and pool could be introduced or incorporated up there. It's kind of off that western entrance, yes. We've incorporated some pocket parks as well as a playground. We're looking to preserve that south 40 acres, that wooded area with trees, and activating that with some nice paths through there. You probably can't see that on this image, but we'd be looking to activate that. I think if we want to go to the next slide, just to give you an idea of what I mean when I say Arbor homes. This is our traditional single-family home where we've got 12 floor plans currently, 5 unique front elevations, so the architecture style can change for any one of those floor plans, as well as different levels of brick for each of those plans, so really a lot of just options. These are single and two-story floor plans that live anywhere from 1,200 to 3,200 square feet. Our buyers have the option to put in sunrooms, flex spaces, bump outs, third-car garages, so just a lot of options that they can choose from. Our Destination series, as I mentioned, these are ranch-only floor plans. We've got 5 current floor plans there, ranging from 1,500 to 3,200 square feet. I put here, we've got thoughtful interior spaces. This isn't an age-restricted portion of the community, but a lot of the design in this community in this home was to put in some thought about that, wider hallways, more accessible bathrooms if the buyer is looking for that. And again, this is we envision this to be a low maintenance living. So on this portion of the project, it would be the grass would be maintained, driveways would be taken care of when it came to snow and stuff like that. We did actually present at the July 2024 ARC, and we went through each elevation, each floor plan, and as well as we gave side, rear, and front visuals. ARC gave an initial favorable recommendation on the proposed product as it was shown at that meeting, and that's what we're intending on moving forward with this project. So I think that's all I have on my presentation, but happy to field any questions.
Do you have a rendering of a 3-car garage model?
I don't know if we have it on hand. I know, well, technically, if you go to the ARC initial review slide, that one on the left actually has a third car there, but it's gotten cropped out. But that is something we can certainly present in future meetings.
Well, no action is really being taken tonight, correct? We're just doing a public hearing on whether or not annexation.
First reading on annexation and public hearing.
Okay, so.
Did
Second.
this get revised from an earlier rendition?
Yes, we did remove the ag assessment statements from the annexation ordinance.
Right. And the fiscal plan is not here tonight, right?
No.
Correct, we'll have that ready for November.
So in November, we'll have fiscal plan and the ordinance to approve.
So this would be we'd approve this on first reading, and then come back next month for the fiscal plan and approval of this on the second reading.
Correct.
Actually,
You don't
there's no approval,
tonight.
there's no approval
You just
tonight.
have
It's
the
just,
public hearing
so we're
on it,
just-
any discussion?
yeah.
I see,
All right,
okay.
Appreciate it, thank you. So at this time, I'm going to open up the public hearing on the annexation ordinance. Just so it's not on the project itself, it's whether or not this property should be annexed into the town of McCordsville or stay in the county. So this time, I have.
Oh, excuse me, I just had one other
Yeah.
comment, I forgot, sorry. This is McCordsville, and Mount Comfort is like 5 miles down the street, at least the local Mount Comfort. I was wondering about the name. You know, and also we have another PUD not too far away from this one. It's called Meadows Landing, and I think the two will get confused with the term Meadows. I'm not sure how firm you are in the name, but I was wondering something like McCordsville Meadows or Mount Vernon Meadows or...
Understood, and that is something we received some comments about, and we that's why the name of the presentation was not Mount Comfort Meadows. We are totally amenable to a name change, so that name is not stuck to.
I'd like to
the
see
project.
something less confusing locally and also more locally appropriate than making it sound like it's down by I-70.
Understood.
All right. Thank you. All right, so back to the public hearing. Do I have anybody who'd like to speak in favor or against? Come on up. Okay, just give your name and 2 minutes.
Hi, my name is John Sweezy, and I represent the residents of West 500 North. And we're here today to oppose the annexation of the property at 500 North and 700 West into the town of McCordsville. We have several concerns about this proposition. With the proposed development, we believe the increased cost will exceed the anticipated revenue from the development for the following reasons. As McCordsville Volunteer Fire Department, the closest fire department in McCordsville, is a small volunteer department. Expanding their coverage area will strain
Okay,
their
I'm gonna stop
already
you right
limited
there.
resources.
That's not true. We are a full-service 24/7 fire department funded
Okay.
by the taxpayer. It's Vernon Township. There's no longer any there's no longer volunteer fire services.
So the two
And-
stations, there are 3 stations,
And actually,
correct?
this will be in Buck Creek, so they'll be serviced by the Buck Creek Fire Department.
So they'll be serviced by the county fire department.
No, the
No,
county
Buck
doesn't
Creek.
have a fire department.
Township fire.
Township has a
Township
fire
fire
department. It'd be Buck
It's
Creek.
full-time, though.
Okay.
It's full-time.
Just that, I was,
I
just
just,
fine.
yeah,
Okay.
okay, sorry.
Excuse me. The traffic increase will dramatically strain the current insufficient infrastructure in the surrounding area. As we live in the surrounding area, that's going to become a problem. As evidenced in the alteration of the PUD from Arbor Homes as of November 15th, 2019, they have a track record of changing their density after approval. Initially, case PC 19-015 on June 14th, 2019 was to include 127 homes on 49 acres with an approximate density of 3.5 and a zoning of 4. This was later increased to 140 homes. In this project, Arbor Homes has proposed a rezoning of R2.5 to Mount Comfort Meadows PUD, which will result in effective zoning of R5 and does not fit in line with the community or the immediate area. As per Exhibit B in the Arbor Homes current PUD plan, 45.48 acres are not to be built on, leaving 74.52 acres for 330 homes, resulting in an effective R.5 zoning. This type of housing currently exists on 600 West between 650 North and 750 North in McCordsville, and also south of I-70 between 600 West and 700 West. In summary, we respectfully request that the zoning and annexation is denied. We appreciate your consideration.
I got a couple questions. I mean, again, I get it. But what do you and the other homeowners want to see there?
We would like to see a product more similar to what is in the area already. It's not that we're opposed to any kind of addition. It's not that we're opposed to any kind of building. It's that we don't want to have a higher density than the R4 zoning that was already approved in the immediate area. The meadows at Sagebrook and Sagebrook all are basically an R3.5 when you do the math. With a zoning approval of R4, this is dense enough that it's going to put we feel, a significant strain on what's in the area. Because we already have people that do 80, 90 mile an hour up and down 500 and 700, and we've had massive accidents in that area because people drive insanely through that area, and we feel like 330 homes on 74 point something acres is too much.
So to kind of give you a little history and why I'm more supportive of this than anything is because what we get, or they get a lot, are inquiries on industrial, more warehouses, and
Absolutely.
and so what we've kind of as a council, not really as an official stance, but more of a thought process is we'd like to see that area when there's transition and stop the industrial, be more residential, more business park, and so eventually even add park space down there and so forth to kind of be our southern border.
Absolutely. And that is not what we're not here to fight it and stop this.
Yeah.
We know we're not going to stop it. That's not what we're trying to do. We're just trying to get the density reduced down to like an R4. That's all we're trying to really get done here.
Okay.
That's
And that is something, honestly,
the
I would,
primary
and what I
focus.
would recommend, we're talking annexation, you know, what, it's really difficult in the state laws anymore to annex in property. This is technically county property. Stansbury is county, in the county jurisdiction. So it's trying to close that up and define our borders and really develop a town under town structure. So my recommendation is to take these concerns, and there'll be several different other hearings, but take it to planning commission.
Okay.
And really explain to them, you know, because they're going to have a lot more say in that PUD in the density.
Okay.
And that'll also eventually come back to us as well. And I'm not discounting that you want to see, you know, higher density or lower density in their area and maybe a different price point. I get that. But we're also, one of the things we're also trying to look at is how do we develop some neighborhoods to allow more different income levels to move into our community, right? And teachers and firefighter price points that are, you know, that are close to their salary and that kind of thing too. So
Absolutely.
this is definitely a work in progress. What my major concern is getting that land annexed into the town of McCordsville, because right now we have zero say on that. If this developer decided tomorrow they wanted to go to the county, and I'm hoping they're not still in here, but they could go to the county and we would have zero say on that. So it's important for the continuity and the development of the town that we annex this into our community.
Okay, and if you feel that way, that's absolutely understandable.
But
Our biggest concern, like I said, we came here with the intention today of fighting more about, because of the way the minutes read, or the potential read, we came here more concerned about the annexation and the approval of the PUD zoning with an effective
And there'll be
R5.
another hearing next month. You know, please come back. But Ryan, you have any?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Mr. Sweezy,
Yes,
is that
sir.
correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm happy to sit down and meet with you guys and talk a little bit more about this. Their density is 2.75, which is actually in keeping with the R4 zoning district. So I think maybe we can sit down and talk through some of these things and make sure that we're all on, you know, dealing with the same data.
Okay.
Happy to do that. I imagine Arbor would also be willing
Well,
to sit
the
down and meet with you.
reason I bring up the R5 is because the underlying zoning district shall be single-family residential district R5 as stated in ordinance 121410 on page 4 of their own thing.
Staff saw the exact same language. We've requested the petitioner to change that to R4. But the overriding data in that PUD that will dictate the density is the maximum lot count that they've listed in that PUD, and that maximum lot count is the 330. So if you compute that out, it ends up to 2.75 units an acre. So I think if we could sit down and we could talk through some of these items, it'd probably benefit everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Does that sound agreeable to people that came here with?
Here's the thing: if this isn't annexed into town, then we can't have those meetings. That happens a different. So I would rather this property be under our jurisdiction, so that then residents like you and our staff and the petitioner can all have those kinds of meetings to work out any of those differences before they go to front of plan commission, before they come back to town
Okay.
council.
Yeah. We're definitely amenable to meeting and talking.
Good.
We just want to make sure that
Yeah.
it doesn't become something that we don't want in the area.
Right, and have it, but it's kind of the cart before the horse kind of a thing. You know, it's really it's how government works, unfortunately.
I understand.
So
Thank you so much.
I appreciate your comments. Any other comments? Yes, come on up.
So my name is Telma Chapa, and I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. So section 4 on this document will be separated, or so I have it from the website that ordinance number 100824 has section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So section 4.
The annexation territory shall be zoned Mount Comfort Meadows Planned Unit Development.
Yeah, that will be separated from the annexation, or that it will go as PUD, and then the details of what that
So
would
it'll be
changed.
annexed in, and then because we've annexed it in, they'll be tied to they'll do a PUD on that.
It's just that PUD by itself means that it is not just residential.
No,
So can I help explain the process?
Sure.
Maybe if I help, so procedurally, how this has to unfold is for them to have any meaningful conversations about zoning, the property first has to be within this jurisdiction. So we first have to introduce the annexation ordinance. They take no action tonight on it other than having a public hearing. Is it in the October Plan Commission meeting? So at the October Plan Commission meeting in 2 weeks, the PUD zoning ordinance will be introduced by Arbor. That's where you would want to come and attend and have meaningful conversations about what actually is going to be introduced in this PUD. A PUD is called a planned unit development. It allows a community to have more control over development standards for a particular acreage that they are looking to develop out versus just the underlying zoning that they're stuck with in their zoning. So once that gets addressed by the Plan Commission, it could get approved. It could get a favorable, a non-favorable, or no recommendation, or it could be tabled till the November meeting. But they make a recommendation then to council, and it comes back here. The zoning comes back here, and simultaneously the annexation does too. So it's like two animals that are both kind of coming to a head at the end. But the concerns that you guys have are the zoning that first go to Plan Commission, and that's where that public hearing will be, that you'll have the opportunity to get up and speak and voice exactly what you're saying tonight. So this is literally just, can they come into the town?
Yeah. So do you not want them in the?
Does that help?
No,
It's kind of unusual, but
My biggest concern, like I said, based on exactly what she just said.
So, and to kind of piggyback also, annexation rules have changed in the state of Indiana. It used to be towns could initiate or cities could initiate annexation. The legislature changed that many years ago and said, no, you can't have forced annexation. It has to be a voluntary annexation by the property owner. And so obviously arbors can't come in here unless they have a contract or some form of written ownership to represent that's why they're asking for that. So we get that a lot of times of like, well, you know, or your sewer, you have to have continuity, you have to have sewer connections and so forth. So that's why you're seeing that, and we've had some issues in the past where we have actually donuts holes in our town that are controlled by the county, and we'd really like to be able to have them part of the town.
Stansbury.
Yeah, the Stansbury is a big one, so in a lot of times we've had situations where developers for certain houses have gone to us. We've said, well, we really don't like that, and they've, well, fine, then since we're not in your jurisdiction, we're going to go to the county, and then our standards are a little bit higher when it comes to development standards in the county. So I always like to say I would rather have it in the town under Ryan's group and under those plan standards than I would at the county level.
I think road width is a great
Road width's
example.
another issue. Some of the neighborhoods that have been built in under the county standards were 2 feet narrower, so we have issues with, you know, fire apparatus and stuff being able to get through. So so there's some positives to doing it, having properties annexed into town, and sometimes there's some negatives. But
I'm not going to argue that one because I have no Evidence either way, like I said, I
Yeah.
think our biggest concern
I
was.
go to planning commission. That's going to be that'll be the best way
And
to
I
start that.
anticipate that your concern was that section 4 actually designates this zoning. I'm thinking, is that the
Yes.
trigger
Yeah.
that's?
Right.
So by state statute, anytime we have an annexation ordinance, we have to identify what the zoning is going to be. So again, these are being done simultaneously. Tonight is, they're not taking any action. So this would be done in one council meeting where they will have the annexation ordinance to approve and a PUD ordinance to approve if this whole thing is gonna happen. But I can understand why that language kind of gave you a little heartburn, because you thought they were
Yeah.
developing zoning tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, that was what triggered us
Yeah.
deciding to be here, because we had read the initial from Meadows at Sage Brook, and after seeing the changes that were made, we just wanted to make sure we didn't go with anything denser than what's there.
Yeah.
And you were concerned too about it was commercial as well, is that what you were thinking on the?
Well, the PUD, if I understand correctly, and I could be completely out of line, PUD is not just residential, or not only single homes, it's apartments, it's townhomes, and then
It can be.
light commercial, as in perhaps a convenience store, or an ice cream place, or
PUD.
dry cleaners, and then that's not only serving that community, people will drive to that also, and there was somebody here talking about noise pollution. Traffic is horrendous now.
Yeah. Also, to kind of make, the more we annex, the more we control the roads and the road improvements and those kind of things. So that's why it's kind of important for us to start getting more local control over some of these things. And you know, we have some issues on the east side of the town where part of the road is us and part of the road, and try to get anything maintained so that we can get this continuity, and that's the plan and the goal.
We're not here to argue
Yeah.
that portion, but we want to make sure that everything goes together.
Plan commission.
cohesively and we don't have
Plan
problems.
commission's the best place to talk about the PUD. Go ahead, Ryan.
Just two last things. So a PUD is exactly what we make a PUD. We can limit it to single-family residential. It could be all the things that you mentioned. In this particular case, it is being limited to single-family residential. So a PUD allows you to make it what you want to make it from a land use standpoint. This one is proposed only as single-family residential. Secondly, Plan Commission is October 15th. That's next Tuesday at 7 p.m. So please come, join us at the meeting. There'll be public hearings on all these things in this room. Yep. And I'm happy to meet with anyone before that meeting that would like to. Just let me know. My cards are out in the lobby.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public hearing before I close it and we move on? Great. Appreciate the comments. Thank you. Public hearing is closed. Please attend planning commission if you have questions about the PUD. We will decide the annexation and PUD at the November meeting. Last item under new business is the gathering section sewer development agreement. Is this you, Mark?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So this is a agreement between the town and Beazer Homes, who's the developer of gatherings. The purpose of this agreement is to set the terms for a reimbursement for some oversizing that the developer had to do to comply with our sanitary sewer master plan. In essence,
And that's on page 2 of this document?
Yes,
Okay.
section 3, the oversizing reimbursement.
Okay.
So the total is at the bottom, that 168. That is split in 2 parts. One part is credits, which is the 84,000 at the top, and the other part is the 84,800. That would be reimbursement per lot. That's reimbursed back. So this is similar to other agreements that we've done in Colonnade, and it will be basically a first in, first out type of process. So we're reimbursing right now for an interceptor that was constructed through Colonnade. This is an extension of that same interceptor. So we have a 15-inch sanitary sewer as opposed to what the developer would have to build if it was just servicing his, which would be an 8-inch. So we're paying for him the upsize and the increased depth. So that's what the amount is for.
I have 2 questions, Mark.
Yeah.
Is Beazer installing the stores, or is it Platinum Properties?
So,
Because Paul Rue was here originally to present the gatherings, and he's the land developer, Colonnade. Is he no longer installing the sewers?
the way this, that property worked is Beazer is the owner of the property, and they're going to the builder, and they have contracted with Platinum Properties as their,
So Platinum is a sub of Beazer.
yes, they are the
Okay.
ones that are helping develop that
The
property.
other thing is on the reimbursement, it's 3 oversizing reimbursement B. It's paid on a quarterly basis at the rate per sewer building permit issued by the town outside any section of the gatherings. So how does that work? Is it capped at 84,000, or is it any sewer permit anywhere in town, elsewhere?
Yes.
That triggers it?
So what that means,
How's that function?
the purpose of the language is that when the reason why it says outside of the gatherings is when gatherings pulls a building permit, they're going to pay the exact same rate, and we want them to do that because we kind of want a standardized approach. So the building permit is paid in 2 pieces. This is straight by ordinance that the council passed. We pay $1,400 at the plat recording, and then $3,100 at the time of the building permit. So they are not given that that reimbursement doesn't come to the gatherings permit, so they still pay the $3,100. It's from lots outside of gatherings that they would be reimbursed $900 per building permit anywhere outside of town except gatherings.
So this isn't just for lots that would flow through the oversized pipes in this area?
No, it's
anywhere in
not.
town?
We changed that. We used to do that before that last revision in 22, I think. So what that changed, we used to have a whole bunch of sewer basins. Now we're just one town. So it doesn't make any difference where it comes from. So if we have 300 building permits per year, and say 250 of them were from outside of gathering, then 250 times the 900 would be reimbursed quarterly back to gatherings until they paid off that sum of $84,883.
Okay.
But they're
I was just laughing or chuckling at the thought of town of McCordsville being one big sewer basin.
Yeah. We do not start reimbursing them, though, until we pay off the previous developers that have already indicated. I'm sorry?
In the queue.
Oh, in the queue, yeah. So Colonnade gets paid off first, and then gatherings would be next.
All right, any other questions? Just need an authorization from council to sign the agreement.
I move we authorize President Brewer to sign the sewer agreement for the gatherings.
Second.
It's been a first and second for the president to sign the agreement, sewer agreement for the gatherings. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. All right, Assistant Town Manager's report.
Yeah, project status report is posted. I'm happy to answer any questions you have on it.
89, 87.
Ryan, will you give just real quick update on the roundabout 600, 600?
Yeah, so the bonds closed on Friday, I believe. Late Friday. So right now, you're seeing a little bit of work at that southwest corner. That is related to their on-site infrastructure. We expect at this point in time that they probably will delay any meaningful work on the roundabout until the spring. So you may see some utility relocating or some clearing associated with the roundabout here, fall and over winter. But at this point in the year, being mid-October, not a lot of point in starting that roundabout until next year, next spring when we've got the weather on our side.
It looks like they've been putting some major infrastructure down anyhow over there, some boring, so.
Yeah,
okay.
there's some, I think the sanitary has to go first anyways, is that correct, Mark?
Yeah, they have to extend the sanitary sewer across from the east side over to the west side to that corner.
Mhm.
They also were waiting, I think, to close on the bond before they would close on purchasing property necessary to construct the roundabout.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else for our assistant town manager? Okay, town manager's report.
Well, I was going to mention that the bond closed on Friday. So. Check. We had the grand opening last week, the ribbon cutting of McCord Square. It went real well. Just remind people it's okay to go in there. There's still construction traffic. There's still punch list items, so just be careful. A lot of workers still there, but we want you to go visit the new businesses there and enjoy Rita's and Hancock Eye and Eye Care, and there's several others that are coming. So we're excited about that and excited to really utilize Town Center. Be patient with us as we figure out how to manage a new town center. So logistics and road closings and notifications, we'll work through that and get better as time goes on, but we're really excited about all the opportunities this brings. And like I said, just be careful as we finish up the punch list items and but enjoy the space. It's the community space. So with that being said, we have on the 21st is the public open house for the police station. So this is an opportunity. Oh, sorry. This is an opportunity. I thought you were shaking me off on that one. Assuming we get that temporary CO from Ryan. This is an opportunity. This is the opportunity for the public to see the investment that was made for the town. So obviously you can't just walk through a police station anytime. So this is before we move in, before we get all the systems going. This is your chance to walk through and see what your tax dollars are paying for. We're proud of the facility. It's going to be great. I know the offices are really excited about it. So please take some time out and come over on the 21st and see us, and we'll show off what we've built there. And then there's an official ribbon cutting on the 24th of the police station with anticipated move-in sometime in mid-November. Also, Trunk or Treat will be our next event. We're just getting bombarded with events, which is a great thing, but I also think Nikki's getting a little tired. So we have Trunk or Treat on the 27th from that's a Sunday from 4 to 6. It's out at Outlook Church. I will be there handing out free hot dogs. Costume yet to be determined, but we will be there. We're excited. This has been a great event, barring weather the last couple of years. But we get a great crowd, and we're excited to see everyone there. We really enjoy it. If you want to be a vendor, if you want to have a trunk, there's an application on our website. Please sign up. The more the merrier, and bring the kids out on the 27th. Outside of that, we are on the doorstep of going live on the new website, and we're also on the doorstep of starting to transition our emails. We will push out more information on that as those are ready to go. There's just a lot of little logistics and coordination we have to do on the back end. We're working through that a day at a time, trying to get there, but we're really close. So we'll be excited to roll that out as well. And I think that's about it right now.
The only thing I'd add to that is the volunteer fire department donation is officially, we now own that building. So
Correct.
we can start discussing renovations here in the future about turning that into a community center and parks department. So excited about that.
My goal is to push out the BOT information this week, and then be prepared and for kind of get the team on board by the end of the year, and then really dive into the architectural plans and everything first quarter, so we can get up and running, which will be just behind the renovations of this building, so that we can manage both projects at the same time.
Well, just a big thank you to the McCordsville Volunteer Fire Department, who no longer exists since the merger and formation of Vernon Township. They could have sold that building or done other things, but they really wanted to make that a part of the community for as long as possible. And I think with renovations and stuff, we'll be able to do that and,
It's gonna be great.
and honor their service with memorabilia and so forth in there. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. All right, at this time, I'm going to have the 5-minute town council members' comments. Just remember, we'll keep it to 5 minutes. You can So on any topic you'd like to speak about. So I'll start down to my left. Dr. Price, do you have anything tonight?
No, I'll pass.
Okay. Mr. Goody?
No, I'm good.
Mr. Jones?
I'm good.
Dr. Burney?
Of course I have something. I'll hold up my credentials here. Tonight I want to talk about the railroad tracks. I went to the Accelerate Indiana Municipalities meeting today in Fort Wayne. It's a 3-day meeting. It's the Ideas Summit. I attended this afternoon a workshop on railroads bisecting towns. It would be us. There are others. I learned something new. New Haven is split by rail. The presentation was made by folks from New Haven, the mayor, and a couple of staff members. And there was also an attorney, Max Adams from Barnes and Thornburg, who talked a little bit about some of the legal situations which basically make the railroads untouchable by municipalities. They really have preempted state and local laws with their federal commerce regulations, and they were here really before most of us were. Anyhow, one thing I learned is New Haven is dealing with being split in 2 places by Norfolk Southern. Not only do they have that, but they have the rail yard where they make the trains up to 2 miles long right in their town. And when they're getting up to speed, they are slow movers, and it takes a long time. So they have developed something. There's a fellow named Neil, I'm sorry I didn't catch his last name, on their staff, and he is their train flow officer. I think that's train information. They're offering special services to towns like us, reaching out. They have a grade crossing separation assistance officer, assistance with grant applications. They have introduced their train flow system, which is composed of sensors, signs in town that they predict when a train will come, how long a crossing will be closed. They have prescribed alternative routes, and they are even incorporating now with Waze, which shows where the trains are, and Apple Maps will have it too. With this so far, their statistics show a 35% decrease in delay hours for the population, a 90% reduction in first responder delays, a 50% reduction in school delays because of school buses being trapped there. Their data goes into the EMS system, Waze, Apple Maps, DMS boards for the town, the 911 system. The public response has been very positive. So I have, I don't actually have it with me, I'll get some contact information for town staff to interface with Neil, who can describe their tremendous improvements there. Interestingly, it was supposed to be a collaboration, but the railroads declined to attend.
Surprise. Surprise.
Message there. The second part of this is I want to suggest an alternative way of moving forward with the grade separation. I'm sure our comprehensive plan will show traffic as the #1 concern, and that will be the #1 spot. We need, the last time it was bid was maybe $60 million estimate, something like that. Mark informs me the current vehicle crossings there are approximately 14,000 a day across the tracks. If you do the math, if we issued, and don't go crazy here, a 30-year revenue bond and put a toll on it using the e-toll system like they have on the Illinois Turnpike, 6 lanes of cars buzzing 70 miles an hour, and everyone gets a bill. They pay it on the internet, and if they don't pay on the internet, they get an administrative fee of $27 to, send them an invoice. So if you do all the math, you can pay off your $60 million revenue bond if we don't get any money from any place else. If we get between a 3 and a 3.5% rate at 3.5% on a AAA rating for 30 years, with our current vehicle traffic, it would be 62 cents a car would pay off the bond in 30 years. Of course, traffic's going to grow. We have a way to bill it automatically. The technology is there. If we get a rate lower than 3.5%, we could decrease the toll. We would probably need Taft to keep the state legislature out of our hair if we were going to put a toll on any transportation infrastructure project in a municipality. But it is a thought as a way we could kickstart it, and there's this train flow thing which we can further mitigate the situation in the meantime.
So you mean 62 cents every time you cross the track?
Yep. Yeah, same. Well,
Well,
we can talk,
appreciate,
we can talk about it.
yeah.
There's ways
It's
to
an
mitigate
idea,
it.
and appreciate,
It's an idea.
appreciate you going up there.
Concept.
You took that out of your own time and appreciate that. Just to kind of piggyback on that, I do know Jefferson Shreve, a candidate for the U.S. Congress in our district, has already met with staff to discuss the importance of that underpass, and I think maybe, there might be some more, not immediately, but in the future, hopefully some congressional input and assistance on that. So it was, from what I hear, it's a positive meeting, so appreciate it. I'm going to make just a couple of real quick comments to Nikki Jones and Stan Wilson. What a great job this year on the Cars and Coffee event and the marketplace. They did that for, was it 6 months or 5 months they did that?
Since me.
I think they did a fantastic job for the first year doing it. I know, it's always tough. I think it was very well attended, from what I heard. I've been to a couple of them. I like the fact that Town Center's open and was moved to that. I think that's a great location. So kudos to Stan and his department and Nikki for all the hard work. These are on the weekends.
And Scott, who got dragged everyone.
Well, I'm sure Scott there, but I don't. And Public Works, when they're involved, these are on the weekends. This is out of their personal time, and they want to do this for their community. So I thank them for that. Also to town staff, Tim and your group for the ribbon cutting at the McCord Square. That was fantastic. It was well attended. Many people were just very complimentary of what you guys are doing at staff level and how that project's turned out. I know we have a lot more to come down the road, but just want to take my hat off to you guys and thank you for doing that, so, and organizing that. With that, I'm waiting for a motion to approve the vouchers.
Make a motion to approve the vouchers.
Is there a second?
Second.
There we go. It's been a first, second to approve the vouchers. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. The next meeting will be November 12th, 2024 at 6:30 PM. This meeting is adjourned.